Good afternoon, everyone. Today is July 8th. My name is Dan Harris. I'm your host. You are watching NuPath Live. This is the time that we dedicate each week to stay connected with our community, to share information, and to, as we are today, celebrate staff. We've been doing a lot of this over the past few months, in particular, trying to isolate and highlight some of our superstars. We've got a ton of them. So hopefully we'll be able to keep broadcasting for many more weeks and months in order to get to all of our fantastic staff. But today we've got two very special, I say that every week probably, don't I, but special guests, but they are all special. Before I jump into that, I was reminded yesterday through a text from Sharon Pitts that this marks the anniversary of our closure of our COVID center here at 147 New Boston Street. If you recall, during the height of the pandemic and one of the surges, I think the first or second anyway, we closed down the entire building. Well, we were already closed because of the pandemic, but we converted the second floor of the space here to areas where people in our programs, in our residential programs that had gotten COVID-19 to convalesce and to recover. And boy, it just it really takes you back to think about where we were a year ago. And this is before we'd even started to gradually reopen. We are far beyond that, thanks to the vaccines that have allowed us to re-engage with life and get back to work. So anyway, I just thought I'd share that little piece of information. So when we conceive these from week to week, and with the help of Brett and managers, directors, people that give suggestions for what they'd like to hear more of, we tend to kind of think about a theme or some sort of a common thread that would be the concentration or the focus for the episode. And I guess, for lack of a better title, today's episode is going to be focused on the staff that I've been saying nice things about the past few weeks. I say nice things about a lot of our employees, but there's two in particular that people have heard me talking about. In fact, last week I was sharing the story of our first guest today. Yes, we're back to the trash barrel. People are going to think I'm obsessed with trash barrels, but this to me signifies something that's very significant. You know, this filthy barrel is hidden by the plastic that's, masking the sludge that's underneath. And some people might think that sort of thing just taken care of magically. Some little elf comes in the night and cleans it, but we know that's not true. In fact, it takes hard work and getting dirty and nasty. And several weeks ago, I was on my way in, and I happened to witness Robert Sawyer cleaning it in the middle of a heat wave, and I thought to myself, isn't that great? It made me think about the quote that's been attributed to many different people, but character is what you do when no one is watching. And I'm sure Robert didn't know that I was going to be walking in at that very moment. We have staff that do this all the time in so many ways across all of our programs. But today we're going to talk to this one special staff person and hear a little bit more about him. Yes, his name is Robert Sawyer. We call him a real character. And I'm going to bring him on in a minute now to talk to us. He started as a life coach and moved to a team leader, and then has recently been promoted to the position of program coordinator here at the program. So let us see if Robert is ready to join us and share with us a little bit about his experience. And there he is. Welcome to NuPath Live.
Hello, happy to be here.
Now, I don't know if you are happy or a little concerned that I've got you connected to a trash barrel. That somehow this is going to be the one thing that points to, that typifies or illustrates your your great success here. You know, you get such high marks from everybody that we spoke to. Great leadership and organizational skills, patient, supportive. I have heard you since the barrel incident, as I've been walking outside your room, and your welcoming, engaging way that you interact with the clients, the people we serve. You have demonstrated a real keen desire to learn and to grow, and just an amazing understanding of the people we support. During the pandemic, and according to my math here, if you celebrated your 2-year anniversary this past March, that would mean that you'd only worked here for about a year when the pandemic hit. But according to what I've been told, you did overnights in our residential programs as needed. You were then called to step in for Ken Sitabaldi, who moved to residential to take over for some of the virtual programming. You're really starting out with a bang here, just getting a lot of experience. Talk to us about what this past year has been like for you, and what it's like to maybe tell us how you came to NuPath and yeah, who you are, maybe a little bit.
Great. Well, I'll tell you, the last year and a half or however long this pandemic has been going on for, it certainly feels like it's been maybe 4 or 5 years. So I think everybody feels that to a certain degree. But the pandemic for me was almost a positive thing in a way, if I could just say that, just because it allowed me to work at various different locations, different group homes. I was doing overnights and afternoons and weekends, just whatever was available, wherever they needed somebody. So I was able to see the company through a different perspective. And, before that, I was just working at the building. So I was only familiar with whoever was working here at 147. And I was able to see the fantastic people at Mill Street. And, that would be Dennis and Garrett come to mind, some great people over at Mill Street. And of course, over at Woburn Street, I instantly think of Nick, the house manager over there. He's fantastic. So there are great people everywhere at this company.
There are, and you said that to me. We were talking just before we went live, and by no means do I mean to single you out at the exclusion of all other great performers, because I know so much of what we do, and that quote about character, so much of what we do is done without anyone having bearing witness to our work. It's often the difficult tasks, the hard tasks, the challenging moments come at a time when you don't have a direct supervisor that's always observing your behavior. You don't have a way that families can see the good things that you're doing, and so that is just part of our cultural identity, I think, as an organization. So many great staff that really care deeply about what they're doing, and it shows in their performance. And we hear this from families that share feedback that how pleased they are with the services. And I'm sure the families have come to love you. I would think you probably have some very nice relationships with some of the families.
Yeah, sure. I mean, hey, it's great to be acknowledged, but like I said, there's great people at all levels working at NuPath.
And you're very humble too, so that's nice, and obviously a team player. You said something else when we were getting ready to go live today that I like to hear. You said that I asked you if you had watched last week's NuPath Live, because I was kind of singing your praises, and you said that you shared it with your folks. That kind of pleased me, because both of my parents passed away in the past 5 years or so. They've been gone, but there's something special about parents that no matter how old we get, when something good happens to us, we kind of want to share it with them, and it sounds like that's something that you did. Do you know, you have a fan club watching you today, or are you going to be watching this tonight when you get home?
I don't know if anybody in my family is watching right now, but I plan on having some friends over tomorrow, and we'll be watching this to be able to make fun of me a bit, I think. Sure.
What are your ambitions as far as, I know that you're somebody that aspires to learn and to experience growth. You mentioned that you're having this, sort of diverse experience over the past year. Do you see yourself with a future in a career in this field? Is this something that you've done for a while or had an interest in, or has this been a new endeavor for you?
Well, that's a lot to unpack. Well, I'll tell you, I went to school in Western Massachusetts, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do while I was there. And once I graduated with the degree, I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. And it wasn't for maybe 4 or 5 months after school was over that my dad actually had found some sort of, I don't know if it was like a newspaper or Craigslist or something, but he saw a opening here at NuPath, and he pushed me towards it. And it's been great. I mean, it's I really enjoy being able to come in and help these folks through a day-to-day basis with whatever it might be. You know, whether it's a goal of tying shoes or helping these guys eat. I mean, whatever comes up throughout the day, I think is great. And I see myself doing this to some capacity, probably for as long as I can work.
You know, it's I know it's well, there's lots of generalities said about the millennial generation, but one of them is that they are very motivated through a strong and powerful mission-based work, and that's something that always motivated me. That we're not just out there making rich people richer. If you work here, you really feel that you're doing something important. I loved your example of teaching somebody how to tie his shoe. I remember when I first started working in the field, feeling like, wow, if it weren't for me on this planet, this person might not have learned how to do X, Y, or Z. And
Sure. Yeah.
it's a powerful thing to feel that you've been able to be that sort of fundamentally influential in somebody's life or help them to improve their life. Well, I'm gonna have to let you go because we're running out of time, but it sounds like your dad's very smart. Is he a smart guy?
Yeah,
Thank you, Dad.
knows what he's
So,
doing.
so maybe we need to figure out what these friends of yours that are going to be watching you and giving you a hard time. See if any of them are interested in a job. We're going to be pumping that referral bonus, and
Oh,
any-
you gotta throw that out there, don't you, Dan? For
sure
sure.
do. I sure do. Well, it's no secret that we're always looking for staff. Right now, as we're trying to reopen, we're facing some challenges in getting the number of staff that we, just as many other places in the country, are experiencing. But yeah, so think about it again in a fresh way, and maybe somebody that you could refer here, because I'm sure if you would refer them, then they'd be a high caliber person. So
Well, great. Well, thanks for having me on here, Dan. It was a
Robert, so
blast.
it's great to talk to you. Thank you so much for all you're doing, and congratulations on your promotion.
Thank you.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. Bye bye. All right, quite a guy, and yeah, and we've got, as he said, so many amazing staff out there that are helping us realize our mission each and every day. And yeah, I'm a lucky guy to be working with so many great people. Okay, for our second guest today, we are going to go back in time a few years. Let's see, it's 2021, so let's go back in time to 2017. Yes, 2017. And I, at the time, well, actually up until just a few months ago, was using the old, the date planner. So I found it and I opened it up just to remind myself what was going on. So specifically to November, I think it was the 21st. And on that day, we had the Martin Center Thanksgiving over at 300 West Cummings Park. I have such a wonderful apron and such a killer hat that I look forward to that day every year to be able to wear it. And after serving that, I went home to get ready for my flight that was going out of Boston at 5:30, and I needed to call an Uber. And as I got in the Uber, I noticed I met the driver. His name was Juan Nunez. He had something like 4.99 stars. And I began to talk to him about NuPath, as I'm inclined to do. NuPath, 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 NuPath. The best, the best, the best. The poor guy probably maybe thought I was crazy. As I got to the airport, oh, and also I think he'd given over 1,000 rides. I think it was some amount. We'll confirm with him when he comes on. When I got to the airport, I handed my business card, and I didn't know if I'd hear from him. I handed my business card to large numbers of people when I see somebody doing a good job, and I think it takes a lot of courage for somebody that's already working in a job to take that leap and to make that phone call. But he did call, and it was after Thanksgiving when I got back. I got a voicemail from him, and I was like, yes, yes. And I happened to have saved that voicemail. Let's listen to it.
Hi, Dan. This is Juan Nunez. I brought you to the airport for the Thanksgiving, around Thanksgiving. I don't know if you remember me. But I'm just touching base to find out more about your company and see if I can come aboard, if there's any positions available for me. So if you can please call me back and give me some more information on what I have to do. I appreciate it.
So that to me, in my opinion, demonstrated such courage, and he then did come to work for NuPath. He spoke at our 2018 annual celebration, did a phenomenal job. We saw him just last week in the butterfly project video that we watched, that little clip, and he's well known in the New Boston Street programs. And we are going to bring him on now and talk to my Uber driver. There he is. Hi, Juan.
How you doing?
Were you a little surprised to find that I had saved that voicemail from 2017?
Yeah, I'm not surprised to listen to my voice now. I'm like, wow. So many, a couple of years, right?
I said that I could never delete that voicemail because seeing your name on there reminded me that even though a lot of the recruitment that I do, when I see somebody that I think is good, you impressed me in that short drive from Medford down to the airport that afternoon because of a number of things. And I don't know if my memory is correct, but you had been pretty much driving an Uber for, I would say, was it like 5 years, or it was a number of years. And we got talking. You said, "Oh, I'm not sure I'd be qualified to do anything else. Like this is what I've been doing." I think you were caring for your family, had some health issues, and your mother maybe, and I was like, what we care about is the fundamental core of a person. It's somebody who's motivated to do well and cares about this population. We can teach all the rest, and you have the courage to pick up the phone and make that call, not knowing what you were getting yourself into, this crazy person that blah, 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 like talked your ear off in the back. And yet you did it, and it set in motion a series of events that now has placed you as a highly successful life coach and contributor to the organization in so many ways. What do you remember from that day? Do you have much of a memory? First of all, can I ask you a question? Did I give you a tip? I hope I tipped you. Did I?
Yeah, I think you did. I can't remember.
I hope I did. I was thinking. I hope I would.
But if you didn't, your business card was more than a tip. That was bigger than a tip.
Good.
I really appreciate the opportunity.
So, what was it like for you to leave? I mean, to do. You were doing this job, driving Uber, all different times, and then this is a real departure from what you had experienced before, but you loved it, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I was driving Uber for quite a while. I had, like, when I picked you up, I had about 4,000 and something rides already.
4,000.
Yeah, like you said, at 4.95, I believe.
Which is so huge. That is really good.
So when I met you that day, the conversation was really good. We kind of like clicked, and I liked your personality, and you invited me to apply. And I think it was an opportunity that God was giving me to change the course of my life and do something else. I didn't know what I was getting into, but I decided to take the step because of the way that you spoke to me that day and your personality. So I called you and took the step, and I don't regret it. It's been great. I've been here since 2018, January, and it's been great. Yeah, no complaints. All the staff is great. My supervisor, I really appreciate them a lot. They always there when I have a question or I need help, and it's a very healthy working environment.
Well, and from the pictures you can see that we looked at, it's my impression when I see you with interacting with our clients is that you just have this joyful, just this spirit of joy when you're working. You laugh and you smile big, and you just seem to be this kind of exuberance about you that I think is really contagious. You clearly you feel happiness when you're with the clients. Had you ever worked with people with disabilities before, or did you have experience with them?
I never worked with them. This is the first time, but I did have an uncle who was got Down syndrome, and I really loved him a lot. He passed away probably 5 years ago, and I can relate to these people through my uncle because I really care about him a lot. Really loved him, and the experience working here has changed my life in a way because dealing treating people with disability has really touched me deeply, and it changed me in many ways. Like I appreciate life more, and I really look forward every day to come to work and be with them in whatever they need me. I can tell you, if you can look into my record, I have never been absent uh, to work. Maybe once, I believe, throughout the whole 3 years. So I'm always here on time and looking forward to spend time with them.
Well, your 4.95 star
Hey,
rating has carried over, I would think, very well. We talked to Robert a little bit before you about kind of kidding around, but about whether or not his family was watching. You've had some moments to be really proud for your family. You spoke at our 2018 annual celebration. That was quite an experience to be up we had the 10th that year, and you were up in front of a couple hundred people. What does your family think this experience of yours? And will they be watching? Will you share this with them tonight, or are they watching now?
yeah, I will definitely share it with my two daughters, my wife, and my sister who came to the presentation when I spoke. So they will be watching it. Yeah.
So they must be very proud of you, I would think.
Yes, they are. They are very.
So I've got a couple minutes left with you. I wonder if, and I didn't really even I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this, but what do you what would you suggest we do about improving our recruitment? Like, should I just go out on many Uber rides, and you think I'll just travel around the state, be an Uber one place to the next, and just try to talk to a driver? Because here's what I think. I think that there's many people out there that would be very good at these jobs and would like them, and it might be an even improvement from where they were, but they're not looking for work right now because they're probably doing something else. Like as you were driving, an Uber, exclusively, and you weren't really looking for work when our paths crossed. And I just feel like there's so many people out there that they just don't know about this field. They don't know about these kinds of jobs. They'd be very good at them because they're caring, hardworking, compassionate people. But how would you, can you think of any ideas about how we could start to, find more people like you?
Well, you have to take probably about 10 or 20 Uber rides a day. That would probably help.
That would probably help. Well, I would hope that if you knew any colleagues from the past, but I don't think the way Uber's set up, you really get to know other drivers, do you? Because I would think that if you did, that maybe you'd tell them, "Hey, come to NuPath because this is going to be a really great job."
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you referred anybody where you've gotten the bonus? Have you?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Well, You should think about that. You
Oh,
should.
definitely, yes, I will.
We need good people. I don't want to sound desperate, but it's something that's on our minds. So anyway, Juan, I hope that you have another many long years working with our organization. It always makes me secretly very happy to see you when I'm passing through the programs. I know that you are just very well liked, well loved, and that so many people depend on you here, and I'm sure appreciate your dependability and not calling in sick and being on time. All of those things make you such a great employee. And I did give you 5 stars. That I know I did.
Thank
Right.
you.
And I'm giving you another 5 stars right now.
I appreciate it, and thank you for having me, man.
Okay, we'll talk to you later. Thank you, Juan Nunez. It's great.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, guys. Hey, in the couple minutes that I have left before we wrap up this episode, I am just starting to get your minds thinking about the fact that in October, and as soon as I start to talk about it, I think it's October 16th, but I shouldn't say that. We are planning a large event that will be kind of a fundraising, replacing the walk, which we haven't had for 2 years. The money that we raise through our fundraising is the money that we can invest in certain activities that the state revenue that we get won't cover. So much of the work that we've done in development for our Navigating Life app has come through the money that we've raised in our walks over the years, in addition to many other things that we require the revenue for. So I know there are staff out there that have began raising money when we had the kickoff for our walk in 2020. I think we had the walk kickoff about a month before the pandemic forced us to close everything down, and we had to cancel or postpone the walk. And here we are, all these many months later, and so we've lost that revenue now for 2 years, in addition to the financial threats of being closed for so long. And so we are going to convert anybody that's raised money in 2020 towards our walk event. That money will be applied to the October event, which I do believe will be a walk. And this will be the first time that we come back together. It's going to be a day of fun and celebration, and I am so looking forward to it as we begin to test out these little, these gatherings. When we said that there was the time when I thought I'd never want to be in a room, with more than 3 people in it. It's changing. We're feeling more and more confident, and the vaccines are allowing us to do that. And we sent out our annual appeal. Many of you will be receiving it. We just want to thank you deeply for your generosity and for anything you are able to give. And if you can't give to the annual appeal, there's always the walk in October. So it'll be a terrific event, and we'll be making up for 2 years of no walk. So it'll be extra special. So I am going to wrap up with that. And we collectively as a team, as a family, are just got so many fantastic and wonderful staff. And I have never worked with a greater group of people in my career as this team that we have here. So thank you all, to all of our staff and to all of our families. Thank you for your participation and for making NuPath what it is. We got this, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.